Hello, my name is Movingcat and welcome back to another beta recap. In this video I will go through what's been happening on the beta server the last 2 weeks, because I didn't make one of these last week. I will do 2 weeks this time. Now, first of all, let's jump straight into it and talk about the daily changelogs, starting with the one 2 weeks ago, so the week starting August the 22nd. Now, another new thing that I'm gonna do going forward is that I will color code the updates or the changelogs. So as of now, at least, I have 3 different colors. The orange one here is bug fixes, so any bug fix. The yellow ones here can also be bug fixes, but these are related to display updates or display issues. For example, things like typos in texts, boxes not being big enough, windows being adjusted and stuff like that. Things that doesn't really have an impact on the game, but are nice to get updated nonetheless. And then finally, the green ones here are new additions or updates to existing features. So yeah, basically new things. So for example, on Monday, 2 weeks ago now, first of all, the sunflower oil press from the fall event did not demand any happiness for its population. That has now been fixed, so now it demands happiness as all event buildings or most event buildings do. They also made some adjustments to the Cobalt Blue Lagoon text to make it clearer how it works. I went over how it worked in my video on the fall event, so go check that out if you are interested. And then finally, they adjusted the ingredients given out in quests in the fall event. So this is specifically the types of ingredients, so which type of ingredient, but they also increased the starting amount of ingredients from 2 to 3. Now, I will go over this in more detail in my fall event guide, which should come out in a couple of weeks. We'll have to see how long that takes. But as of now, at least, that is still too few, really, in my opinion. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this is improved further. But as of now, I do think the number of ingredients you get is a little bit too little. But yeah, we'll have to see going forward before it comes to life. Anyways, on Tuesday, a couple of bug fixes, some issues with inactive players in the market. Not really a big deal. Forge Plus prevented the reward window from displaying in the castle system. Not really any big things. Now on Wednesday, they added specifically to the browser ad an option in the settings to manage subscriptions. To be honest, I don't really know if that is a thing on the browser. It probably is, but I don't really care. I don't really care too much about the subscriptions, so that is Forge Plus and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that has at least been added. On Thursday, a couple of bug fixes. There was an issue with Forge Plus not displaying when, or the collect all button not displaying when you had incidents. That was fixed, but yeah, mainly just some bug fixes and stuff like that. Display updates. On Friday, in Guild Battlegrounds, when a guild conquers a sector by a building being destroyed, so if you have a fortress on, for example, on a sector, it requires more advancements to capture, but if you delete the fortress and the sector is above the limit for how many fights is required to capture it, it will automatically be conquered, and that would display the person removing the building as the one conquering or taking the sector. That has now been removed so that it shows that the enemy guild conquered it. So yeah, just some more clarity there. And apparently in the shop there were some issues with wrong image for goods being displayed. That's quite a big deal, but that was fixed. And then yeah, some quite a few display updates. For example, the button in the castle system was not long enough in some languages, stuff like that, minor changes to display issues and text and stuff like that. So not really that big of a deal. So that's the week 2 weeks ago. Now let's go over the week that just finished. So yeah, the week starting August the 29th. On Monday, some display updates, but also apparently I didn't buy any ingredients on when I played, but apparently if you bought ingredients in the fall event, the shop would close, which is quite annoying if you want to buy multiple ingredients So that has now been updated so the window doesn't change if you're buying ingredients in the store. And also, I didn't know this wasn't a thing, but apparently on the app you couldn't, or the production carousel was not available for military units. So that has now been added. This basically means that when you start recruiting a unit, if you have another military building available, a window will automatically jump to that, similar to how the production carousels work. So nice to see that added for military units for the app players. I didn't know that wasn't a thing. So on Tuesday, on the app, in regards to the ads, it was possible to watch an ad in the settlements that would decrease constructions by 0%. So quite useless. That was not intended, so that has been removed. On Wednesday, some wiki updates, updating some stuff on the wiki. Nothing on Thursday. Then on Friday, playing on a very old browser will now display a warning that the game performance could be worse. I'm not quite sure who this is targeted to. Perhaps there are some players still playing on perhaps Windows 95 and have some very old browsers, but yeah, this probably isn't. You probably will not get this. It will be fun to try to download some old browsers and see where this happened, but anyways, not a big deal. And then a display update. So that's it for the changelogs. Now let's move on to the spoiler section, starting with the Halloween event. So here we finally have the building. So the main building is the tarot card caravans. It is 5x4, so in the middle when it comes to sizes of main buildings. It looks really cool, I think. It has 12 levels, so quite a lot. But if we look at previous events of this style, that should still be doable. For example, if you have the same number of currency as you had in the archaeology event, you should be able to get this fully leveled, perhaps even without the calendar. So yeah, this shouldn't be too tricky to get, I think. But of course, we will have to see if the number of tools you get and currency you get, how much you get and stuff like that. So that's the main building, but we also have two other buildings. Now, initially, this was thought to be two limited buildings, and that's because the names of these buildings followed the same pattern as the limited buildings that we get in the summer event and also the fall event. So yeah, check those videos out if you don't know what a limited building is. But anyways, the way those limited buildings are named is that the first one is simply called something like this, Halloween Bonus 22A, and then the second one is called Halloween Bonus 22A Decoration. That's what the limited buildings are called, but a few days later we got this image here, this loading screen here, which actually suggests that they are not limited buildings and instead two levels of the same building. So the level 1 building is a decoration and the level 2 building is simply called 22A. So that might suggest that the first levels here are simple decorations, perhaps only giving happiness, but then if you upgrade them, you get some boosts. Who knows what, but perhaps we can always hope that we get a sentinel outpost for attacking army. That would be really cool, because this one is 1x1, this one is 2x2. So yeah, it would be really cool to see what these give, but this does suggest that these are upgrades of the base buildings, and that the base buildings probably are just decorations, and that the level 2 buildings gives some interesting stuff. So we will have to see, of course, what happens there. The event, I'm not quite sure when it will start. It might start next week on beta, but yeah, we will keep an eye out on that for sure. Here we have another loading screen. I think that looks quite nice, actually. It looks, yeah, quite cozy. I've been watching Peaky Blinders recently. Kind of reminds me a little bit of that. So yeah, I quite like it. And then the main building. And I quite like the look of the main building. Now, another thing when it comes to the event, the Halloween event, it was theorized, and I talked about this in a previous video, that you might be able to buy the event pass directly with money, so real life money, and that seems to be confirmed now, because they have added an A/B test called FOE A/B test Event Pass Hard Currency. So that to me would suggest that you should be able to, or at least that they are testing the option of buying the Event Pass with money directly in the store. So instead of spending diamonds, you would spend real money. How much it would cost and if it's worth it or not, or if it's better to just buy diamonds, we will have to see. But yeah, it does look like you can, or that they are at least testing the possibility of buying it directly with money. Alright, so that's it for the Halloween event, but you actually also have some stuff for the winter event. Not a lot, we only have the selection kits, but we do at least know that most likely the main building is just a simple main building. I don't really know how to pronounce it. I'm gonna go with chocolatry, something like that, I don't know. Please tell me in the comments how you pronounce this. But yeah, we now have at least the first look of the building. In terms of size, I would guess this is perhaps even 4x6, something big like that. 3x5, I think it looks like a 4x6 to me. But yeah, we will have to see. Of course, that should probably come out in a couple of, or the event itself will probably be a month or two, probably 2 months before it is out on beta. But we will probably get the building sooner or later, so perhaps even next week we will know more about the building. Now, in addition to that, we also have some new updates for the tutorial. So we have some more images. These probably are saying something along the lines of the early buildings produce some resources, but as you move up in ages, your buildings will produce more and more resources. Probably something like that. So yeah, it looks like they are simply making an expanded tutorial, probably more information and stuff like that. So that's cool. I think the tutorial is a little bit lacking at the moment. Some more images here. And actually, why not? Let me reload, go to the next point, because today, a couple of minutes ago, a few more were added. So some tutorial images in regards to streets, probably telling a little bit more in detail how streets work, perhaps even going so far as to giving some recommendations on how to use streets, who knows. And then also tutorial wallpaper Egypt, so probably expanding the tutorial when it comes to settlements as well and stuff like that. So that's quite cool. Another thing, or perhaps the actually, no, before going into that, let me also show this. So in addition to that, there are also some new backgrounds for the first province, some new images here that probably suggest that they are reworking the tutorial, the fighting section of the tutorial a little bit as well. And all of this brings me to this here. They have added a new A/B test called FOE A/B test first session 22, that's just the year. So first session, this suggests to me that they are reworking the early game completely, or not by a lot, but I think they're probably reworking the tutorial and probably making it easier for new players to understand how things work and stuff like that. Because I don't know, I think the tutorial probably could do with some work, some more explanation. But the main thing here is that they have added a new info text. So if you are part of this A/B test, and the A/B test is probably not active at the moment, but if you are part of this A/B test, you will actually get this: research roof tile houses to unlock events. Normally that says research cultivation to unlock events, but it now seems like with this update they will move the starting of events from Bronze Age to Iron Age, to this first technology here. So making players advance a little bit more before they can play events. And personally, I don't mind this at all. I think most players should move to Iron Age anyways. And I think it's a good incentive to make people move up, because I don't really see much point in the Bronze Age other than an age for getting used to the game. But ideally, I think you should move up to Iron Age. you can't contribute to great buildings, for example, without moving up. You can't do daily challenges. You can't do settlements and so on. So yeah, I think that's I don't mind that at all. It does, of course, suck for a few people who might be doing some sort of challenge staying in Bronze Age. But yeah, I think overall it's probably a good change to move the event to the Iron Age to allow players to develop a little bit more. And if you are an established player starting a new world, getting here is very easy. It only takes a couple of days, so it shouldn't be a problem, I think so. Overall, I quite like this. And overall, I don't really mind them spending some time on reworking the early game. I imagine that they probably have some sort of metrics showing the retention rate of new users. Perhaps it's a little bit too low, which would, if that's the case, it would make sense to rework the early game a little bit, perhaps make it a little bit smoother. Give players some more information to learn about. Making the rollout of special things a little bit slower and so on. So yeah, we'll have to see when this comes out. It will probably take some time more. So yeah, some more time before they publish this. But yeah, when they do, I definitely will cover it. So I think we have come to the end. I think that's all for now. I do want to mention one final thing. I will talk more about this in a future video, but I will probably be live streaming quite a bit going forward, the next couple of weeks at least. So in the comment, the first comment, the pinned comment, and also in the description, I have added a poll to a straw poll where I would like to hear what times of the day works best for you when it comes to streaming. To me streaming. So please answer that if you have the time. And with that, let me thank my Patreons for their support. I would like to thank Homestar, Frog Prefect, Lorden, Rock Robin, Kim Cayley, Rolf the 8th, PQ the Goat, Dan Suminad, Merrick B, Hugo Count von Count, Jan Fredriksen, Drew the Generous, Filda, Rush, Susan Weiss, Mega Rocky Rocco, Henrik Dare Klauber, Mattia, Upshady Obsessed, Raf, Kim, Adaril, Mike, Mindsy, and Wolfboy. Thanks a lot for your support, thanks for watching, take care, and I will see you in the future.